I was
so much to talk
biting
about.
my fingernails.
Alpesh Patel, CEO of Profanium Partners. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Alpesh.
Good morning.
We chose Le Figaro to take a look at what's happening with President Sarkozy. This is going to be it's going to be something that's looked across the internet, lots of newspapers as well. And in Le Figaro, the piece is saying that his friends are saying he's been harassed by the courts at a time when he's looking at a bid to run again in the presidential election. And they say this will only strengthen his resolve. What do you make of him? He's a colourful character, to say the least, isn't he?
Well, the picture of him in the newspapers didn't look like a man with strong resolve. It looked like a man who was exhausted. The annoying thing about this story is it's the reason why people don't enter politics, why good people don't enter politics. Whether he's innocent, in which case you get so much muck thrown at you as his allies state that you think, you know what, why do I ever want to be in politics? Or he's guilty, in which case it just destroys our belief in politicians and it's not a profession we want to be in. Remember, this is a story which goes back not just over the 2007 campaign, where there are allegations that his campaign was financed by Gaddafi, General Gaddafi of Libya, not a savoury character you want to be associated with winning elections, but also there were envelope stuff with cash are the allegations, that the state tapped his phone as well. It's got money, it's got power. Unusually for a French politics story, it hasn't got sex yet involved in it, but it does destroy your belief in Western political systems all over.
So, just to be clear about the situation, he has been placed under formal criminal investigation. He hasn't yet been charged, as far as we know. That would be the next
stage. Hasn't happened yet. It's astounding anyway, because he's a former head of state. Hasn't happened to a French former head of state before.
To be held by police.
To be held by police.
Now, Financial Times has all sorts of stories. Sarkozy's on its front page. Also, pound hitting 6-year dollar high. This, it says, is off the back of good manufacturing data, which would imply that interest rates will be going up sooner rather than later. Therefore, put your money in the UK economy, you get more in return.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Put your money in the UK economy. We're all going to benefit as well. Actually, I think it's a good news story for this reason. First of all, because the exchange rate has moved so high, I think it'll actually reduce the pressure for the Bank of England to raise interest rates, because if they raise them even further, it would possibly strengthen sterling even more. So they possibly won't have to do it, which is good news if you're a mortgage payer. Also, it means holidays to the US, of course, the old story.
And Europe this time of year?
Absolutely. What it isn't great news for is exporters. You'll know that the British government's UKTI have been doing lots to help exporters, but what it does tell exporters is diversify. Don't just focus on our biggest trading partner, the US, but also diversify to the EU as well.
UKTI, UK...
Trade and investment, part of the UK government.
But some are warning that this could exaggerate existing imbalances in the economy if this were to carry on, i.e. the pound were to get stronger. What are they talking about there?
Yeah, what they mean is that, of course, our over-reliance on one part of the economy, which will be our imports, will become cheaper, and therefore we'll tend to consume more, we'll tend to want cheaper goods, and that's an imbalance versus our exports, so it could hamper our trade balance, which is not good, because this is historically not an exchange rate that we're used to, and when exchange rates are at 7-year lows or highs, depending on how you look at it, that's when you start getting problems in other parts of the economy. You could see job losses amongst exporters. They don't seem to be complaining at the moment, and you could see over-reliance on consumption, which is not good, because you want British companies to be investing in consumers, not to be necessarily buying foreign goods. You want them to be buying domestic goods.
Lots of stories on the front page of the FT. We're going to pick up on it on the Daily Telegraph business section, but it also is on the front page of the Financial Times as well. An ex-Goldman banker now, this guy helped Twitter float, didn't he? He helped manage the flotation of Twitter, putting it on the stock market. He's now going to be involved in a new role in Twitter. Is this quite normal to get the bankers in?
Well, I guess if you're at Goldman Sachs and you've helped raise billions, then the least they can do is give you a board seat. I love the pay packet. It's about $63 million. Though somebody should tell him a dollar isn't worth what it used to be.
But the bonuses and the Twitter shares.
Yeah, well, that's it. $63 million. I love what he tweeted. Only somebody from Goldman's could do this. He's tweeted, "I could not be more excited." No kidding, mate. $63 million.
Let's just say who he is. His name's Anthony Noto, incidentally, and he's going to become the Chief Financial Officer.
He is,
which is a pretty key role.
It's a very key role, but $63 million. And he's also tweeted after this role, Hashtag indispensable.
You know, what's interesting about what he's going to be doing, though, is finding a place for Twitter to invest its cash in smaller companies, because it needs to show returns, doesn't it?
As you said, they raised lots of money when they floated. Now they need to generate profits because they're a listed company. The shareholders are saying, look, we need to start seeing profits so the share price starts moving up. That they've chosen a banker and not a management-level CEO, that's somewhat
Just briefly, so we're clear, his basic salary is $250,000, but the full package with shares is $63 million. So we don't want to give the wrong impression.
Can we talk about another ex-Goldman Sachs person, Jim O'Neill, former chief economist? He's getting involved in superbugs. Explain this, Alpesh.
That's right. This hunt for antibiotics which will fight against ever-increasing resistant bugs. I think it's an inspired choice. Jim O'Neill, former head of Goldman Sachs Asset Management as well. I know Jim, and it's a clever choice because the problem isn't the science. If we throw enough money at it, the scientists can find ever-resistant antibiotics. The problem is financing. How do you get the pharmaceutical companies to invest in this? How do you get third world countries to restrain the prescription of such drugs? And he's going to be looking at the financing solutions, and that's why I think it's an inspired choice. He retired from Goldman Sachs. I don't know on what pay packet, but he retired. I think it was last year. So I think it's a good use of him.
Now, The Guardian, it says, revealed the billionaires who came to the Tory dinner. Tell us more.
Well, look,
Sounds
make
like a
no
very
mistake.
typical Guardian
Make no
exclusive.
mistake. Money gets you access. Whichever way political parties like to look at it, it doesn't look good for the Tories because, of course, they've been trying to get away from this elitist image, particularly given that we're going to have a general election in Britain next May. But yes, there was a dinner, a fundraiser, very typical amongst political parties. I'm sure they would have preferred it didn't hit the front pages. I can tell you the food was lovely when I was there. It was phenomenal. But yes. There's a whole group of billionaires, nothing illegal, nothing untoward. It just doesn't smell right for a party which is trying to say it's a party of the common person. But money gives you access is the perception.
OK. You're torn between the football and Wimbledon, I know. What a day yesterday. Can you sum it up in 30 seconds for us?
Top seeds go out. It was almost as shocking as England going out of the World Cup. It was just against all odds. Nadal's gone out, Sharapova's gone out, the Williams sisters. You saw Serena Williams calling on a medic.
How awesome was the wonder from down under, the 19-year-old young Australian.
There are some people saying
McEnroe
said it reminds him of a young Boris Becker. Definitely a person to watch. And can you imagine if you put £1 on him? I think you'd be earning as much as a Goldman Sachs banker right now.
You'd be able to go to a Tory dinner. Alpesh, thanks very much. Sally and I will see you very soon.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.